Hi, Steve here from Steve's Internet Guide, and in this video we're going to look at using the Python MQTT client. Now this is a complete beginner's video. We're going to look at the basics of the client. We're going to look at connecting to the broker, subscribing, publishing messages, and then we're going to look at received messages and a brief look at the loop and callbacks. We're not going to go into any great detail in this video. I've covered a lot of those things in other videos, and they're certainly covered on the site in tutorials. The idea of this video really is to get you up and running quickly using the client. Okay, so let's start with our first script. So here's our script, and I've opened it up in the Python IDE, and the first thing we do is we import the client. I'm also importing time just so we can put some delays in there. 3 lines here all commented out. These are alternative brokers if you want to use them, and probably that you're better off using them if you're just starting out, to save you installing your own broker on your own machine. But I'm using my own internal broker here. Okay, create a client instance, and all we need to do is to give it a name. I'm calling mine Python1. Remember, the names have to be unique, and then we just print a message saying we've connected, and we're connecting, and then we connect to the broker. We wait a little while and then we disconnect from the broker. So let's see what happens when we run it. So a message saying we're going to connect to the broker, and then we're finished. Now there's no real indication other than that print message that we've actually connected to the broker. If you've got access to the broker console, then you should see the client connection come in, but we haven't in this instance, so we don't really know. So the next script, what we're going to do is we're going to actually enable some logging so we can actually see what's going on in a bit more detail, to give us a bit more confidence that we have actually connected. Okay, so here's our second script. Now I've modified the first script, and what I've added is these 2 functions here, and these are what we call callback functions, and one is a logging function and the other one is the onConnect function. Now what should happen is that we should get log information appearing when we connect, disconnect, etc. Because of this function, and then this one here should give us more information on when we connect. Other than that, it's more or less the same. Then we get to here, and we need to create links to these callback functions, which I've done here with these commands here. I'm not going to explain these, they're covered actually on the site, but you actually need them. So without this, then these functions aren't going to be called. So there's no point having them unless you're going to include these. So then we print our message, and then we connect, and then we sleep, and then we disconnect. So let's see what happens when we run this. Okay, we've got our connecting message, and we disconnected. So it doesn't look any different from the first script. Now the reason is because we're missing one important ingredient in there, and we're missing the loop. So let's go with the next script and we'll put the loop in there. Okay, here's our modified script, and all I've done is added the loop start and the loop stop. Now the purpose of the loop is to process the callback functions. Now without the loop running, the callback functions don't get processed, which we saw in the earlier script. Exactly how it works, I'll refer you to the site. There's an article on the site, a tutorial on the site about the loop, and you can go there and read it. I'll put a link in the description. But for the moment, just accept the fact that we need the loop for the callbacks to be processed. So let's run the script and see what we get. So connecting to the broker, we have a log message, and then we got to connected OK, and then we're finished. Okay, the log message is using this callback here. It just prints log, you can see log, and then the message there. And that's courtesy of this declaration and this function. Now the connect, which we connect here, sorry, let's just get it. We connect here. The connect gets a response back from the server that the server says it's connected OK. That triggers this callback, the onConnect callback, and all I've done is tell it to print out a message connected OK, and that's the message you're seeing here. Okay, so that's a simple script. It connects to the broker and it processes the received messages coming back from the broker and just prints them out. Okay, so what we've demonstrated is the connect method, we demonstrated the callbacks, and we demonstrated the importance of the loop function. Now we're going to go on and we're going to actually publish a message. Now you can see the script here again, and I've modified this script again, and this time I've actually added an onDisconnect callback, so we should get notified, or we should see information when we get the disconnect from the broker. And to use this, I make this declaration here, and I've also got a publish message here, or publish call here. So I'm publishing on a topic, house sensor 1, and I'm publishing a message. Okay, so let's run this script and see what happens. Let's drag it to the side slightly. So we connect to the broker, we get a log message, but notice this log message saying it's published, and then we get a log message saying we connected OK. If that seems strange to you, it's because these callbacks are asynchronous callbacks, so they're happening in the background, they're being processed by a totally separate thread, and so you can't be sure of the order. Now, if you want to be sure of the order, or if you want to get the order and display them correctly, you can use the time function, and you can sleep a while before you publish. So I could have set this up so as I connected, then I slept a little bit before I published, and then you'd see them come back in the right order. But I didn't bother doing that. I just wanted to actually demonstrate the fact that they are asynchronous, and so they're not guaranteed to be in any order when they start printing out. Then we get a connected OK, and then we get a disconnect, just like we saw in the other one. Now, if I hadn't have enabled the logging, which is the logging here, if I hadn't have enabled that, then I wouldn't have seen the published message, so I wouldn't have known that the message had been published. And generally you don't know the message has been published. The only way you can actually find out whether it's been published is by processing the publish callback, and we haven't done that here. There's actually another callback called onPublish, which we could process to verify that the message has been published. Alternatively, we can do what I'm going to do now, is I can actually subscribe to the same topic, which is house.sensor1, and if I subscribe to the same topic, I should see the message that I've published. So you can actually subscribe to the same topic that you're actually publishing on. So that's what I'm going to do in the next script. I'm going to subscribe to the house.sensor1 topic, and we can actually see the messages that come back. So here's the script. The only change I've made to it is the subscribe here. So you can see I'm subscribing to house.sensor1, which is the same topic that I'm publishing on. And let's run the script. Very similar to the other script, except we've got log message saying we've got a sub acknowledge, and this time the publish is actually in the right order, but that's just coincidental. We haven't actually seen the message, so there's no message here, and the reason we haven't seen the message is even though we subscribed and even though we've published, we haven't got anything to process the message. So when the message comes in, it triggers what's the on message callback, so we need to add that callback function here, and we need to link it in down here. So the next script I'm going to do that, and we're going to see that how that runs. Okay, so here's our script. This is actually our final script, and I've got the onMessage callback here. And what I'm going to do is just print out the message received, and then down here I tie in the callback to the onMessage function, and other than that the script is identical to the one we saw before. So let's run it. Okay, now we've actually seen the message here. Message received, my first message, and then we're going to disconnect. So that's it. How to publish, subscribe and publish using the Python MQTT client. Now, one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the logging, and we're going to run this one again without the logging and see what it looks like. So to do that, I'm just going to disable the login here, and let's run it again. And this is the way you would normally run it without the login. So you can see here I've got the print message connecting to broker, connected OK, message received, and disconnected OK. Now the callbacks, the callbacks that you see here that are triggered, they're not related to the onlog callback. The onlog callback just is an extra callback that logs sent and received messages. Just to finish off, some resources you may find useful. There's a tutorial introduction to the MQTT client on the site at this link here, and the tutorial's got other links to other tutorials relating to using the MQTT client. The full client documentation you'll find at this link here, and I recommend you go to that site and you bookmark that site, because you'll find yourself referring quite a lot to that site. The documentation is very good, and it covers all the client class and all the methods, and it describes how to use them. So that's the end of the video. If you've got any comments, then use the comment form below. If you like the video, then use the like button below. If you go over to the site, you can also subscribe to the newsletter if you want to. Until next time, bye.